Hello and welcome to Slav Exclusive. I remain your host, Natasha Brown. And on this particular episode, we'll be speaking with an amazing entrepreneur. I would like to call him an environmentalist, so to speak. He's the founder of an amazing digital waste management platform. I'm not going to call the name yet. So if you really want to know the name, you have to stay tuned. So don't go anywhere and we'll get into it just in a moment. All right, so we are here with Elliot Wogo. I was going to say Mr. Elliot Wogo, but then I don't know which works for you.
Elliot Wogo is fine.
Elliot Wogo is just fine. All right, he is the founder of TrashCoin, and like I said, a digital waste management platform. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
This is the first time I'm meeting you. This is the first time we're having this discussion, even though I've heard about TrashCoin, like I told you earlier. But I didn't know the face behind it, but I only heard about it. And it's interesting having you here today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, so let's just get right into it. TrashCoin. What is TrashCoin?
Okay, thank you so much for having me. So basically, TrashCoin is a digital solution that we built to actually give people coin for their trash. So it's a digital waste management platform that we are using to mobilize and incentivize people to take action against their recyclable waste.
Interesting. And then this has been on for how long? You said 2.5 years thereabout.
Yeah, I mean, since we started, it's been about 2.5 years, but we launched the mobile application to the public 1 year ago on the 6th of August 2022. And since then, we've had an amazing traction of over 2,000 users and over
signed up, visible on
yes,
interesting.
2,000 users who are using the mobile application to recycle and get paid. And then we have over 123 collectors scattered around Nigeria that are collecting waste to resell to recycling companies.
I like that. What you do is really interesting and very important as well, because we're in a time where the one of the hot topics of the day is global warming, environment. The earth is dying. We're not doing right by the earth. Plastic pollution and all of that. So we have these things happening, even though there's some people who don't think that, it's that important or that alarming as it started to be. But we know that these things are happening. These things are there. I mean, we even look at analysis of certain plastic bottle companies, that sell water, and then we hear about the plastics actually having particles in the water that we drink. And then you consume it, and over time, it results into different kinds of diseases or different kinds of ailments, and you are wondering from where to where. Where did I get this from? But it was over a gradual time, a gradual process before that happened. So we know that what you do is really interesting. But before we get into the heat of it, TrashCoin, let's go to you, Elliot himself. How did you come about TrashCoin? How was it a thought? Was it an idea? Was it a passion? Did it happen on you?
Okay, yeah, so with TrashCoin, it was just another venture. Before now, I have ventured into 2 different startups as a result of like the problems around my community. The first was in 2014, after the Chibok girls were kidnapped. A lot of people didn't know, but I started a project, and with that, I launched a solution that helped parents to monitor and track their kids from their mobile phone.
That is such an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Did that gain traction?
It did. I got a presidential award for it, but people didn't know because we were not publicizing since it was a security device. So there was no type of publicity. We just sold directly to the people that needed it. After that, in 2018, I also worked with a few other people. That was after the Ebola epidemic that we had, where people drank salt water, also bathed salt water and all. I mean, that was misinformation, clearly. So my friends and we came together and we built another solution called Infodemics. Infodemics is a risk communication tool that was used to communicate only verified information during epidemic. We didn't know, but after building that, COVID-19 happened. And the Nigerian Center
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, Nigerian Center for Disease Control adopted our solution, and the messages people were receiving came from isolation.
You have a lot under your belt.
Yeah.
And the noise about you is not so much. And I'm wondering why. Because infodemics, that is so interesting. It is such an interesting thing because, when you were talking about the Ebola time, I was going to ask, so how about COVID? And then you're already telling us that, you worked with NCDC and the text messages and all that we were receiving, was managed by
It's coming from our platform.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And then the one now, like we said, we're keeping TrashCoin on a hold because now more interesting parts of you is coming up. The part of the tracking your kids
Yeah.
that you sold to the parties that were in need of it. I am wondering why you did sell it, because I know that right now we're in a day and time, especially here in Nigeria. I mean, even elsewhere, even in America and elsewhere, people need to know where their kids are. People, I mean, we're seeing kidnaps happening. It's on the increase at this point in time. So I'm really wondering what your thought process was. Why you put a pause on that? Like you sold it, and then some other persons are managing it. Like, why didn't you handle that yourself?
Okay, yes.
Like
So,
with your team.
no, so let me just clarify this. I said
Okay.
we were selling to people that needed it.
Oh, okay.
So not like I sold the company, but
Right,
at some
okay.
point it was data, like public data. We needed to also work with state governments and federal government and all. And with the government, things sometimes just go bad. And
Yeah.
when it was, dying off, I just somehow exit.
It's funny that you think that certain things that have high importance would be of great priority to the federal government or the state government. I mean, a platform like that shouldn't be something to be toyed with, especially when one of the key issues we have in Nigeria is insecurity.
Yeah. I mean, every day since 2017, 2018, when the kidnap on that Abuja Kaduna road was on the high, every day I hit my decks like, oh, this is a problem I solved. So how did we get here? Like, what happened?
Why
Because
wasn't it capitalized on?
yeah,
Why?
yeah, because I think till last month or 2 months ago, a private individual called who had gotten the device, then, and he called for some directions. Right, he needed to update some things to use it because it's been very effective for him. I mean, over time, and I had to again guide them and do. But access to the software and all, I didn't follow up like that. So many upgrades we didn't use.
Is it something you're willing to revisit with your team? Or it's, I'm done with that until next, somebody else take it up?
Yeah, for now until someone else takes it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. You have quite a number under your belt, and first of all, what was your major? What did you major in?
My bachelor's.
I'm wondering what how
Yeah.
you came into all of this. So
Okay, so my bachelor's is in geology, but
Okay.
after graduation, I didn't do anything with it. That was because somehow I was nurtured in the university by a student association which I belonged to. Maybe
which was that?
ISEC.
Oh, were you one of the ISACers?
Yes, so I was an ISECer, and it was about impact. It was about learning, personal development, and being there, we from time to time initiated and implemented projects that were aimed at developing our immediate environments, communities, helping people grow. So that mindset was already formed. And for me, the fastest thing I'm able to do to date is identify a problem or see a problem and identify a solution immediately. So it has helped me when I went for my service in 2013 in Abuja. Somewhere I faced a near Chibok incident, and I saw parents, run in anguish and trying to get their kids out of school when that thing happened, and I felt it like, okay, yeah, these people must be really, really disturbed. And the next question was, how can we get parents to be settled when their kids were away from them? And I started that research. It took me to India, and went for some software development, and after that I had that solution. And since then it's been like that. I get into somewhere, I see there's a problem, and I just try to find a solution.
Okay, so let's play like a little game. So now you're here in our studio,
Yeah.
and this is your first time coming here. I've tried not to also shoot the studio in the food, but what one problem have you seen here? Just just coming through. So we're just going to play that little game or on your way here. It can be in here or on your way here. Just one problem you saw, and then you thought, okay, there has to be a solution to that.
I mean, we didn't need to be on phone for several minutes trying to describe the location of this place. Maybe before I
Right.
leave, I can put this place on Google Map, and anybody can just come.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Interesting, but it is because I did send you the.
no, it took me there.
I said I was trying not to show the studio in the food, but then it's okay. Thank you for that. Indeed, you're what you say that you are identifying problems and automatically thinking about solutions. So that brings us back to the crux of the matter,
Yeah.
which is the rave of the moment, TrashCoin. So now, I mean, you've shown me already from your platform, and like first of all, you have a user-friendly platform. It's quite easy,
Thank you.
to come in, sign up, and all of that. But I would like to know how has it been the reception with TrashCoin, getting people to actually understand that okay, plastic is actually a form of pollutant, so we would need you to help us get these plastics around you for some token. How has that been? Trying to reorientate people and getting people to be receptive toward the idea.
It's been amazing. It's been great. Like I think beyond our expectation because till date, we've not spent 1 naira on publicity. We haven't done anything. It's just been word of mouth. And the best we do is partner with Poly Festival because the CEO is my friend and we just do this hand to hand. And that's like the only place we've gone out to showcase TrashCoin. And then from there, also in the community where we have that recycling plant, if you drive through now, you will not find plastic bottles on the ground. You just find maybe bags of plastic inside people's shops because they know that with this they can make money. So everyone is now, conscious, picking these bottles and hoping to redeem cash out of it. And it's quite amazing. I mean, on the larger scale, this is what we envision, where maybe after drinking water in a
You
public
become
space,
conscious and
yeah, you become conscious, and then there's someone behind you still waiting to see if you drop the bottle for
yeah.
them to grab it and use it to make money. So this is the kind of awareness we want to create. Of course, after now, we definitely hope to do proper marketing where we do publicity of all kinds, digital marketing, traditional marketing, experiential marketing, and get people to understand that this is, yes, on one hand, pollution and affecting our water, environment, health, and a whole lot. And then on the other hand, an avenue to make
to
money.
make money.
Yeah.
Because people want to make money.
Yeah. To make money, not just make money, to meet other needs. As you saw on the platform,
Utility bills.
utility bills, you can buy airtime for calls, you can buy data to have access to the internet, you can buy electricity for light, right, with your waste, and you can pay for JAMB and WAEC, education. So we are actually converting waste to giving people access to education, converting waste to giving people access to energy, electricity, and converting waste to giving people access to the internet. Right. So many other things we believe we could do with this waste, but for now, this is where we're starting.
Interesting. So, and something else that is even more interesting with what you've done so far, TrashCoin. You said you don't yet have funding for that, external funding, no investors yet. So everything is self-funded.
Yeah, everything has been self-funded, no investment till date, even though we have opened up the pre-seed round to raise some money, about $500,000, to get our company fully structured and operational in different markets. However, we've also been participating in different competitions where we won some grants and then we added to personal funding from the team of co-founders who have contributed their own personal
Quota.
funds, yeah, to actually get this fully built, operational, like have people working for us and somehow getting something to feed their families with. So yeah, this is how far we've gone, but no external funding like investment yet.
Yeah, which you're definitely open to. I mean, you've already said you're looking at raising about $500,000, proceed round and all of that. So I'm sure that that is not a tall order, because what you do is actually valuable, is scalable, and it's of priorities of high importance at this point in time, and even progressively so, because people keep looking for how to reduce every form of pollutant that they can, just to get a healthier society one way or the other. So yeah, I mean it's interesting, and I know that will gain traction with time. But coming to it, you also said you have your collection points, in different other areas apart from River State, Nigeria. So what other areas do you have your collection points at for now?
So far, we have our collection points in different states. In the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, we have in Lagos, we have in Ibadan, Oyo State, we have in Ogun State, and I think one sprung up in Cross River recently. Yeah, so we have different collection points scattered. But for now, I'm back in Port Harcourt to expand, make it a household name in Port Harcourt, and then from there we can, focus on the next markets and the next markets and continue. But for now, we want a collection point on every street in Port Harcourt. So this is like our next 6 months to 12 months goal right now, to get a trash coin collector on every street in Port Harcourt, so that we can actually just reduce the time to recycle for people.
I like that. I think that that is a beautiful vision that you have. I mean, you have to start from somewhere. You can't just, decentralize at the same time, except you have huge funding to do that. But in order to be able to do that, you definitely will need some form of endorsement, some form of recognition or partnership with the state government to gain proper traction, to be able to do that. So we'll just get into that just after the short break. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, so before we went on the short break, I was about to ask you about the state government. How has it been working with them hand in hand to be able to get TrashCoin out there, and for it to actually become a household name where everybody just has that consciousness that there is somewhere, some platform I can make some money from, and also create change in my own little way?
Okay, before now, what we concentrated our efforts on was to build a working product, right? After building this product, we wanted to test if it was actually going to work, and if people were going to utilize what we have built, and if it was scalable. So that what we have done in the last year, right, trying to further validate our product. Now we have achieved that, and the next step for us is to scale it properly. And to do this, we recognize that partnership with state government or government at different levels, local government, state government, and national government, is very, very essential. Hence, we have started, making these moves, submitting proposals to get audience with the different state governments and maybe the waste management agencies in different states, so that TrashCoin can actually be adopted as that digital solution to help them achieve their goal of managing the waste for every state. All right, so starting with River State, we are hopeful that TrashCoin can be that application, that mobile application for River State Waste Management Agency that everyone would utilize to recycle their waste. with TrashCoin, there's just so much benefit that the state and other stakeholders can get. Right? Today, I can tell you that over 30 of the 36 states in Nigeria cannot give you accurate data concerning the waste that it's being generated from their states. But with TrashCoin, what we have built, you have access to 100%, accurate data of the waste, the type of waste coming out, the volume of waste, and even the regions with the
Highest
most,
amount of
highest amount of
waste.
waste. So these are like the kind of things that the government would get. And aside that, the government will be creating a lot of jobs by supporting us. So many people will be empowered to be collectors. Aside that, people would be able to feed, because I can tell you over 50 families on TrashCoin platform right now are able to earn substantial amounts to afford a meal a day using the TrashCoin platform and recycling their
I mean,
waste.
I even saw, like, even when you showed it to me, how even the platform works and all that, how you can just basically from what you've collected so far and remitted, the coins that that has been allotted to you based on what you've remitted, you can just be able to translate that into physical cash into your bank.
Yes.
So it's not even just like in your head type of thing. It's actually tangible. It's practical. You're seeing it. All right, so speaking about TrashCoin, there's something interesting. And first of all, before we even got on the show as well, you had already picked up a plastic bottle to explain more. But most of the time, when we look at waste, we look at it as trash. Waste, literally. But we forget to understand that actually waste is valuable and it can actually be translated into money. So most of the time, like here in Nigeria, we see these northerners, or the, so to speak, they go around with bags of waste, and then we're wondering, these people are so dirty and all over the place. But you just made me understand behind the scene that these people are cashing out, because you usually would have to interface with them based on what you do. So let's hear more about that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's quite interesting. This is the plastic bottles. It's quite neat, and so what we are also trying to do, we are trying to nip this in the bud. So if you generate 20 bottles every week, and you don't have to throw it to the waste bin, right? It doesn't get out there to the gutters. It doesn't get out there to the dump sites. It comes in very neat when you recycle with TrashCoin, right? And what you have also done is save a lot in terms of health, right? Because when this bottle goes out there to the gutters, it blocks the
It
drainages,
clogs it.
right? And then that's where we have stagnation of water. And what happens? Mosquitoes,
Malaria,
and
flooding
people
as well.
die, flooding, right? This also contains microplastics when it's washed, right? When it's out there, so it pollutes our environment. Sometimes it ends up in the oceans, and then what happens to marine life? Completely destroyed. It's actually estimated that by 2050, we would have more of this in the ocean than fishes, right? So it's crazy
So
what's
we'll be
happening.
eating
We'll be
plastics.
eating plastic, you understand? So that's why we have to take immediate action, right, to curb this, and it means you and I. Now, the informal waste collectors that we see, the aboki guys that go around to pick waste, I can tell you with full confidence that each of them at the end of the month make more than a banker. They get more money than a banker does, because every week they make sales of at least 100,000 naira.
And those are the people we just look at and we're like, well, these are the nuisance of society.
Exactly. But there's just so much value in it, right? Now, why do they get this much? They're not buying. They just go out there to the waste sites, street to street. They're picking these
Scout,
bottles,
pick.
right? And then when they pick, they bag it, and then people come to buy from them. It's value because it's now raw materials. Like, they use it to produce so many things. They use it to produce roofing sheets. They use it to produce bricks to build houses. in India, they're using it to actually construct roads. They use it to produce fabrics. These shirts that I'm wearing, they use it to produce sleeping mattress, right? So many things can come of it. Now, these manufacturing companies, they need to buy raw materials, right? So they pay the recycling companies, and the recycling companies need these raw materials. They come to these informal pickers, right, to buy these materials, and that's why they're able to earn that much.
So it's a value
It's a
chain
value chain
of money
of
generation.
money, yes. So, I mean, we are encouraged, everyone is encouraged not to look down on these people anymore. They look dirty, but then
They're cashing out.
they're cashing
And
out.
I'm already thinking about my job. Maybe I should. How do I rebrand it now? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we are trying to do now. We're trying to, give it a different face, right? You can be a waste collector in your shop. You can just use your shop, like have a bag, and then people bring to you, you give them, and you resell.
Right.
You make money for yourself, right? Just doing something passively. There are so many people on our platform who are doing this. You don't need to look dirty. You don't need to go around with bags to get these bottles. People will bring it to you, and this is what we are trying to do now. Decentralize the process, right? And ensure that people can conveniently recycle and get paid, while the collector or aggregator also gets paid.
Can you estimate how many like collection points you have in Port Harcourt?
90.
Rough.
Port Harcourt is like the highest, so we have about 90 collection points in Port Harcourt, and we're looking to expand this beyond even 500 in the next 6 months.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so brings me to the next question. Your application, the TrashCoin application, how does it work?
Okay, so the mobile application, which is available on both Google Play Store and Android Play Store, it's quite an easy application to use. I mean,
So you just type in TrashCoin.
you type in TrashCoin on Google Play Store, Apple Play Store, and you get the app, you download it, and you sign up. I mean, we just made it very easy, your email, your phone number, and then you started, right? And when you gather your bottles you want to recycle, you just click a button and it will check around the same way Uber and Bolt works, and it will show you the closest collection point or
Around you.
recycling point around you. It has taken your location and it's using your location to show you where you can take your bottles to.
And you said it's usually 1.5 kilometers away or thereabouts?
No, it depends.
It
So
depends.
if there's a collection point on this street, maybe it's just 100 meters. You walk there and then you recycle.
Right.
They check, they take the measurement of the waste, and they use it to generate a voucher. They have their own TrashCoin platform for collectors, right? And then they create a voucher for you to scan. You scan the voucher, and the money is added to your bank account. You see your balance there. Whatever it was, it will be increased. Now, you decide what you want to do with your money. If you want instant cash out, you click exchange, and then you pay out to your bank account. When you do this, the money straight, it goes immediately into your bank account, so you can withdraw with your ATM or POS, and you use it to
Whichever
buy
way.
whatever you want. If you don't want that, we have different options. You can buy airtime directly from the TrashCoin app, so you're converting your waste to recharge card. You can buy data, you can pay for
Electricity
DSTV,
bill,
GoTV subscription, different bills, and you can pay for electricity on this app. You just put your prepaid meter, and then you put the amount of electricity you want, you do it. You can also pay for JAMB and WAEC, and that's very, very important
Very
for
key.
us, right? Because now we are looking
Translating waste to
at waste to
education.
education. We are targeting, people in rural areas who would ordinarily not be able to afford WAEC fees and JAMB fees. I think we have one family that has successfully done this, and we can see the excitement. So we are hopeful. Like, now we also want to start like a schools campaign where we could have like different schools compete for which school would recycle the most, and they get awarded like for it. And that we will be able to bring students in and then, catch them young, sensitize them, make them understand that this is no longer a waste but value. And maybe kids who do not even maybe need it because their parents can afford it, can decide to take it upon themselves to save enough and, offset their WAEC or JAM fees, So things like that are what we are looking to achieve with the mobile application.
Interesting. Thank you so much. I was even going to go into the detail about you still being in Germany and then still having TrashCon in Nigeria, but I think I'll leave that for now. We can always talk about later. So, this is Elliot Walker here with me, founder of TrashCoin, and I hope that you have learned one or two about the startup ecosystem, about TrashCoin, about waste pollution, and all that there is to know about our environment and what solution TrashCoin is bringing, about to help for a more sustainable environment. Anyway, so this still remains Staff exclusive, Staff TV, and I'm your host Natasha. Bye for now, and look forward to having you for our next episode.